works in kind of a modular way. So a lot of the music was prepared beforehand for that I sang and with Andrew. What changed with the music was what the choir did, because that really depends on the character of the group. And this group was really fearless. So it really allowed us to play around with different kind of sound textures and to explore that further than we ever had before. I mean, it was a great group for a lot of reasons. It was a really varied group. So there was just a huge, range of different ages and different backgrounds. And some of them knew each other, some of them had worked together before, some of them had never sung before, in a choir. And somehow that combined to just really, they were just open to anything. So we worked really hard. We worked 4 hours a day all week, which is a long time to sing. It's a long time to be just like working and learning and exploring, experimenting. And they were just all the way there the whole time. They never, no whining even. I expect I whine, I complain. But they were just totally good to go. They didn't question it a lot. I mean, they were curious about this or that, but they weren't looking for a conventional story. Yeah, they were even open to the fragmented nature of the narrative. I love it because it forces magic, because it's a completely ridiculous thing to do. Like, there's no reason it should work ever, and then it does. And that's magical to me. That's just, I don't know, it gives me a thrill. We used this basic structure by Pauline Oliveros, who's an American composer, that allows for, she calls it software for people, because it allows people to make music together in a really efficient way and in a beautiful way. And so we did a lot of different kinds of improvisations, just kind of looking for textures and exploring the different voices. And so they really had a lot of agency right from the beginning. And I think that that's important. I mean, I think that allows them to be really creative and use the full spectrum of voice, because we wanted really beautiful sounds, which they had, and also really abject sounds, which they also, were able to locate. And that can be hard if you're a trained singer. Choirs have a hard time making ugly noises because there's so, years and years and years of just getting rid of that. But there was kind of a special chemistry with this group. I'd say that in loveness is mutual. They were so warm and worked so hard. That's something that is really important to me when it happens, because for me it kind of fights against the preciousness of opera and the kind of unavailableness of opera. So to be able to involve, anybody. The staging was really different because the pool was so unique. So, and so we really reordered things, and every time that happens, even though we're familiar with different parts of the material, it changes the arc, and it changes really the meaning of each change. I'd seen a video of the space, but I couldn't tell from the video how beautiful it was. And of course you can't tell what the acoustics are like, and the acoustics were really great. You could really, it was kind of cathedral-like, because it dispersed the sound and there was ring to it, but you didn't lose the source. which is pretty unique. Usually, if you have this kind of echoing quality to a space, you also lose something. Like you lose the quality of the source of the sound, and that didn't really happen here. You could still pick out individual voices and keep the character of the voice really present. So that was wonderful.